make some noise? Yes. So we wanted to welcome everybody in. Come on and have a seat. As you know, we do have our pastries and also coffee to my right, your left. And if you are in need to use the restrooms, we also have TCC that is open, and we have golf carts that will transport you to your area today. So we are so excited to have you here. I think the whole team is very emotional today. We've started since 2014. I'm emotional myself because I was one of the first DJs, volunteer DJs with Food on the Move since 2014. And I'm so grateful to Taylor and the whole staff for giving me the opportunity to work with this team today. So let's give a hand for Taylor Hanson, Kevin, and our whole squad here today. Also, let's give a hand for our DJ Ed over here. He's okay. No, that's my guy. That's my friend. All right, so first off, I wanted to introduce a gentleman that we all know and love. He has been such a catalyst within our community here in building and developing the Food on the Move program. So everybody, let's give a big round of applause for Kevin Harper, everybody.
Hey, thank you guys. Welcome. This is an exciting day. I was telling Taylor, 3 years ago this month, I started at Food on the Move with an idea to talk about this project, and then COVID just wrecked all that. But hey, we're here now, and great things are happening because there's so many great people in the room. And we're here to finally just talk about a long-term strategy to continue working with partners to fight food insecurity and fight food deserts, because everyone deserves to eat healthy, affordable, fresh produce. Is that true? That's true. Yeah, it's true. So excited to talk about the Food Home today, but before we go any farther, let's just watch a quick video to kind of know why we're really here.
Food Home is about taking our food back. What does that mean? Well, there's many aspects of facing food insecurity and food deserts. A key breakthrough from our work over the 5 years was recognizing if we want to bring produce back to our neighborhoods, we also have to look at how to make fresh produce and local food more accessible and more affordable. That means going right back down to the seed.
A neighborhood without a grocery store is like a house without a kitchen. It's not a home.
The Food Home has 4 phases: the urban farm, the community hub, the market, and the food hub. With those 4 things together, we create an ecosystem around all aspects of local food.
Phase 1 is the urban farm. The farm brings together training and education around urban agriculture. We'll be using aquaponics and hydroponics, training people to use new technologies which allow for year-round produce to be grown, taking transferable skills that folks will be able to bring into the career field of agriculture and other careers as well. We will be producing food that will be accessible year-round to the community. The premier program, AgriFuture, will provide world-class agricultural training technicians to empower participants in the program to become leaders in the future of agriculture and become sought-after professionals, as well as entrepreneurs. This is also a living classroom, where partners such as nonprofits, educational institutions, and community members will come together and discover this incredible skill to grow quality produce and understand how it's possible to take our food back. A portion of the produce grown will be sold and distributed to local grocers and restaurateurs. This will allow the Food Home to have a sustainable model. But as always, a certain amount of what we grow will be set aside as a donation to community members in need.
The foundation of this program is alive today in partnership with Tulsa Public Schools through our Agro First program and Garden Club, beginning in middle school. The program, which continues through high school, not only sparks a love of growing things, it introduces greater understanding of community health and combating food deserts, uses ag to teach practical components of STEM, and provides a gateway to economic empowerment through agribusiness. The Food Home is a major step to reinvest in once neglected neighborhoods while making an impact on us all, a chance to foster energy and momentum with an engine for sustainability and change, establishing a platform for healthy food ecosystems to thrive.
The true definition of community is to give what each of us have to help one another. We're looking for partners and collaborators who are willing to give their time and know-how and the resources.
Moms and dads, students and teachers,
CEOs and servicemen and servicewomen,
doctors and lawyers,
gardeners and builders,
entrepreneurs, scientists, and working men and women of every background who choose to be leaders. In other words, you. It's transformation through partnership. We have an opportunity to transform food together. So come join us to bring food home.
All right, let's give a hand for that amazing video. Yes. So that is the reveal of what we're bringing here to our community to help for generations to come, to teach our children all about agribusiness, agro-tech, and so much more. And of course, it takes every sector within our community to really help us develop this idea and to make it move forward. So we have so many partners that are here that have helped us with this today. And one of the great partners that we have are one that is in the public sector, and one that we do have to honor today is Mr. Stan Salee, everybody. So let's give Mr. Stan Salee a hand. And we're actually going to invite him up to come and speak.
Thank you very much, Ramal. Appreciate that. What a day. Wow. Exciting for everybody. And it's an honor for me to represent Tulsa County. I'm Stan Salee, District 1 County Commissioner. And I'm one of 3 county commissioners, Commissioner Karen Keith, Commissioner Kelly Dunkerley. Those could not be here today. Also, I want to mention Commissioner Ron Peters, that is no longer serving. Ron was instrumental in supporting this project, and we certainly owe him a lot of gratitude, and it was a no-brainer for all of us, but Ron was a big part of it. I wanted to mention a couple of things. First of all, that, our involvement in this, my relationship with Taylor and Kevin started several years ago in meeting on some issues with the city of Tulsa and neighbors and other things of locating these facilities. And it's through those meetings that really I understood what he was planning to build. And certainly it was something of interest. And then it disappeared with us, and COVID happened, and everybody got lost in trying to figure out our way through that. And obviously the pandemic really brought forth a lot of, exposed a lot of needs throughout the region of Tulsa County. And the federal government entrusted Tulsa County to distribute millions of dollars for it to really assess and distribute, not just for the need at the time, but the recovery also. And our committee, we call it our ARPA committee that helped fund this project, we were really dialed in on making investments that were going to be transformational for Tulsa County, but long-lasting for decades and decades. And we were focused on the Treasury guidelines, which looked at the qualified census tracts. North Tulsa is one of those census tracts, parts of North Tulsa. Obviously, it's a food desert in areas. We've got high unemployment, health issues, a lot of things that made this a perfect candidate. We at Tulsa County very quickly supported this project. It didn't take long for the committee to understand the many benefits of the food home project, and from access to affordable produce, locally grown, the agricultural training, all the benefits that this provides. But more importantly, it's healthiness for our citizens in Tulsa County. This program obviously will be far-reaching beyond Tulsa County, but that was our focus, is the residents of Tulsa County. So thank you, Food on the Move, for your innovative vision of the food home to make our county healthier and stronger with this great project. So thank you very much.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Yes. So again, it takes every sector to really help Food on the Move to thrive. And one of the sectors is the corporate sector as well. And this young lady, I am so inspired by her work and her heart and just her family altogether. So today I get to introduce to you the phenomenal lady, the CEO of Bama Companies, which has been a great supporter, Miss Paula Marshall, everybody. Let's welcome her to the stage.
Very good to see everybody today. I've been wanting to do this since 2017 when I first met Taylor. Taylor's like, no, we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. Listen, I am the 3rd generation owner of Bama Companies, and we are so happy to be supporters of Food on the Move and Food Home. A lot of our team members at Bama were volunteering with Food on the Move way before we ever knew about this. We found out about the vision from Taylor. This is Taylor's vision. Kevin helps, Rusty helps. Everyone is here today because we are following Taylor's vision for Food Home. And what the vision means is that everyone in this community will know how to grow food, where food comes from, how to build a sustainable garden. We can put these things anywhere because of the work that we're doing in the pod next door. And I just want to thank all of you for coming today. This is very important to our company. We are in the food business, but I can tell you a lot of people that come to Bama to work don't really understand where food comes from. They think flour really comes in a bag from Michigan. They think that eggs really come from a big tank truck that pumps it into our facility that makes hot cakes. And they think buttermilk comes in the same form with a tanker truck. So it's really important that we teach ourselves and also future generations where food comes from, how to grow it, how much good can come from teaching our kids to work on the land, to till the dirt, to inspire them. Instead of doing something bad, they can put their time and energy into doing something that's good. So Bama's all about that. Want to thank Kim Owens, who's our Director of Community Relationships at Bama, who brought this project and introduced Taylor and I years ago. And without her and without her diligence to try to help Bama's community garden come to life, we wouldn't be standing here today. So I want to thank her for that. And I want to also thank Taylor for being steadfast in his vision here and for always believing that this could happen. And for Kevin, who diligently works day to day, and for my son-in-law, Rusty, who loves this almost more than life. So we are very grateful to be here and happy to be part of this, Taylor. Thank you very much for letting us be part of it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Paula. A lot of great things. If you're a member of our board, will you just kind of raise your hand? I'd like to acknowledge the board. We got a great board. Give these guys a hand. They really are very supportive. And, of course, our Food on the Move team, I want to make sure I recognize them. They got their green aprons on, always diligent to work hard. It's so amazing. But today we get to reveal the public part of our capital campaign. And it's because of these 14 supporters you see right here. Bama and Tulsa County, the Maybe Foundation. You can just see these great companies. Will Smith, he's now passed away, but he was such a great supporter from the get-go, and I would have several conversations with him just about giving direction and what we could do and how we could do this, and I loved his innovation. Of course, Michelle Hardesty, the Hardesty family have been so amazing on this. Cherokee Nation, Joe Deere, we appreciate what you guys do. Morning Crest, Inheritance Juice downtown, the Ed Darby Foundation, Alex, and you guys, man, thank you guys for your dedication. Ascension St. John, I saw Monica here, and Gadgel, One Oak, Pamela and her team, Hemp Hill, Jim and the group, Ray Corp, and then the Arvis Foundation. Just helps set the way, and we're now at that public phase. But there's one group that I really want to acknowledge that really are transformational, and we wouldn't do anything without this group. So if you are a local partner and you work with us and we get to work with you, would you just raise your hand and keep your hands up? I want you to see different local partners around, Chris, Katie, all these guys. Look around. These are the reason, Tim out back there. This is why Tulsa is a great city. Men and women that are willing to give of themselves. Every month we get to work with the most amazing people coming out together because it takes all of us to make a better Tulsa. This isn't a Food on the Move project. This isn't a Taylor Hanson project. Sorry, but it's not. This is a Tulsa project. This is a Tulsa project where all Tulsa nonprofits, we get to work together. We're right there by our neighbors at Catholic Charities. Deacon Kevin's back there working with them. We can do this together. We can move the needle together. That's the only way Tulsa is going to be a great Tulsa. And that's the only way we're going to change the state and the nation. And I believe we can do it together. And I believe it. So thank you again. But I really want everyone, just as loud as you can, this is corny, but give the biggest round of applause to all these partners that worked so hard. They did so much. You know, I see Chris Bernard back there with Hunger Free. We first started getting together during COVID, and when you work with someone during COVID, it's like, a bond through trauma that just can't be you can't explain it. And this guy just started flipping the script, and he was trying to get meals everywhere, and I saw him one day. I said, are you alive? And he's like, no, I'm just trying to function. And so, because he was working so hard, and all these great partners did that to make Tulsa the great city it is. And I want to thank you guys so much. It's a pleasure to work with you. So many great things happening. And just one more group I want to acknowledge, and that is Mr. Kaiser and the kids from Monroe. They're here. They're in our program. They're learning to run these systems, and they're the future of our city. They're learning to grow their own food, and they're making a difference. And so it's so exciting, and that's how we do this together. And so thank you guys so much for all that you do. At this time, I'm going to have Ramal and Taylor come back up, kind of give you guys a little bit of story about what we're doing here today. And I'll let Taylor kind of share his vision of why we're here, because I think it's important for us to understand as we're kicking off this public phase, for all of us to really understand that this is really important for all of us to be able to establish bringing our food back home.
Should we sit?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I think the word Taylor has been used enough. I cringe a little time. Because I believe in what we're doing with Food on the Move is really, truly not just a good tagline, but it really is about us working together. Different talents, different gifts, different backgrounds. We are a team together. And today, Food on the Move is announcing this project that's been waiting to come to life, to be shared publicly. But it started with conversations. I don't know, I haven't seen where Katie Blockie is, but if Katie is here, I know okay. Katie is a rock star, the true rock star, Katie Blockie. Give a round of applause to Katie Blockie. The idea of what Food Home is built on a collaboration of people committed to asking the question, not having the answers, but asking the question, what will make Tulsa stronger? And it started for me with an ambassador that had led our nation, and he said, I would start with food. So we began to ask, what's missing in food? And people like R&G and the mobile grocery store, the R&G grocers have been asking those questions. Partners at OSU Extension have been asking those questions. The food bank has been asking those questions and serving. But what we came to through the collaborations, from the first DJ set that Ramal did to the times harvesting in produce with neighbors that had farms, was, guys, we have great fresh produce. It's not getting to our grocery stores, which means we're paying for it to go on a truck halfway across the country. That means the good stuff's too expensive. We got to bring food home. We need to bring food closer to us here. So this journey is going forward. This is not a static point. The Food Home Project is a reinvestment to ask, how can we bring our food closer? How can we grow it and look at new ways, the future of food, which is aquaponics, indoor growing, hydroponics, which is training the future generations to say, how are we going to do this with you leading? Food deserts need to become a thing of the past. But if we're going to make them a thing of the past, we need partnerships and we need collaborations that we say, you know what, we're going to create an engine that is going to produce and grow and train and be led by the next generation. And this is just the beginning. And it is possible because we've had these conversations now for years to say, if we're going to get fresh produce, we need to go all the way back down to the seed. And that's what Food Home is going to do. And it's the team effort that is able to ask those questions and then say, now this is how we're going to do it together.
And speaking of going back to the seed, that's what this phase one is all about, the urban farm. It's about going back to the seed.
Talk about this this is very important for you to break it down for us.
Yeah. So the urban farm, which I'm excited about, the first part is it's a 10,000 square foot indoor grow facility with hydroponics and aquaponics. So we're going to be teaching people how to do this. This facility alone will grow over 100,000 pounds every year. So a lot of that will be leafy greens, so you can imagine that's a lot of produce being grown. And we'll be teaching people workforce development and education on how they can become their own entrepreneur. How they could, slip into one of these pods and begin to, make their own urban farm right there. And we create an actual food desert now, but we'll be a food oasis, teaching people how to do this. So very excited about that aspect. There'll be a processing area to grow and harvest, a training area. One of my favorite parts is right out front. It's the Hardesty Community Corner, where we can just sit out and we have education and training, a place for people to gather. Because one thing that we want, home is a place of safety. It's a place of comfort. It's a place of security. And that's why this is called the Food Home, is we want people to be able to come together and build community and begin to work together in everything. And that's exciting for us. But what's really great about this first phase project and every phase is we've designed it in a way that it's sustainable. And so it will produce enough revenue to cover its expenses. And we'll be selling to local grocery stores. AJ at Oasis is one of our guys we've already talked about. We're excited about. We'll be selling to AJ. We can get fresh produce and a better price for him so he can have a better access. Katie Powaki has an amazing mobile grocery store set up, and we're talking about putting one right out front here in the next 6 or 8 months. We can grow for that as well. So we can begin to just move that needle even more and getting fresh, affordable produce into the hands of people so they're not paying the high prices. I think what really drives me crazy is I go to AJ's store and I can buy produce. I go to Brookside and I buy the same produce and I pay more at AJ's store, and it shouldn't be that way. And so if we're going to all work together and collaborate together, we begin to grow and we begin to bring everyone together to make a greater difference. And that's what makes it exciting, because we're able to make true transformation as we do this together.
So is everybody overwhelmed with how the heck we're going to do this?
I am.
Yeah. So let me back up from this for a second. We're going to have we're going to have one more guest speak, and then we're going to be able to visit with you. We'd love to invite everybody to see our pods that show the example of the function of these future systems. But I want to rewind for a second and say this is the beginning of what is a multi-phase project. If you watch the video, you'll see this is a 4-phase project. It starts with with the urban farm. It will focus next on the food hub. We'll be working with incredible partners in the community for a food hub to connect farmers and future farmers to distributors. It'll then work on a model for a store where we're working with others to say, what is that successful grocery store model, and how can we collaborate with all of our great local owners like AJ and Katie and others? And ultimately, how can we also have a community hub to come together and connect? Because farmers are working 3 jobs. They should be able to work 1. Food is essential. And future urban farmers, traditional farmers in our community, we got farmland that was turned into sod farms that should be growing food for us to eat. And we want to connect the dots together with this. But this is the beginning. This is also not a groundbreaking. This is the public phase of the final funding of this project, which we have incredible support for, and we're inviting the world to join us to finish this phase getting funded, because it's at the point where this is a project that needs to be about everybody having a seat around this table to make sure this project comes to life with everybody's participation, those that are watching online, those that are volunteering, those that are contributing. So to tell you a little bit about what we mean when we talk about reinvesting, Kevin and I could go on and on and on about why this project is important, but I think it's a lot more valuable for you to hear directly from somebody that we now consider, somebody we're a fan of, which is one of our former students that's now a team member. And that's, make some noise for that.
All right, Milton, come on up here.
We're going to invite our friend Milton Hamilton. Give it up for Milton.
Hey, man. I'll go for it. Hey, take a seat. Take a seat next to you.
Milton will be signing autographs later if you would like. So, all right. So, Milton, we've got to know him for a while now, and we just want to ask him a couple of questions so people can kind of get a feel for what's going on. But, Milton, tell us when you first learned about aquaponics and what you liked about it.
Yeah, eat the microphone.
I don't even know if it... Wait, can y'all hear me?
Yep, they can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I first learned it on that 7th grade, actually, even though I wasn't at school. But I learned it at 7th grade. On 8th grade, I actually got to try it, thanks to Food on Move, actually. Mostly, it was actually pretty fun, learning something new that can probably help the environment most definitely, and help most people in not just Tulsa or Oklahoma, but once everybody starts working together, help the entire world.
Well, and I remember there was one morning that you went in and you found something going off the system at Monroe. Tell everybody what you found and what you did, because I thought that was interesting. And because you beat our team members in to take care of it.
Yeah, usually on every day on school day, I usually check the aquaponics to see if anything was going right. But on that day, there was a dead fish. First, I had to, bury it, kind of.
We won't tell Kaiser what you did.
Yeah. And then after I did that, I checked to see if everything was right, because it's weird to see a dead fish. It looked like it was suffocated by all the other tilapia, but turns out there wasn't a giant ammonia spike. Yeah, so it killed one of the fish. You usually put about 2 caps of prime to settle it a tiny bit, but that's only a temporary fix. You're going to have to do more stuff to actually help it, but that's the only start of it. So
And so when our teacher got there, you were actually already on it and telling him what to do, which was I thought was funny. And then I think what was hilarious, I'll just tell the story on you. We were able to take Milton to the National Aquaponics Association meeting in Oklahoma City. And this gentleman came up to meet him, and he's like, well, so Milton, what do you know about aquaponics? And he's like, I know everything. What do you want to know? This guy has a PhD in aquaponics. So I love the confidence of what he was showing on that. It was hilarious.
Well, one of the things, we talk about the potential, and we appreciate you being willing to jump on this stage because it's not theoretical, right? It's how can Milton be a leader? How can he be the one tell the message? And I mean, before doing the agro program at Monroe, you hadn't been familiar with aquaponics, right?
yeah, I only heard it on social media time to time. Like it jumped on social media, then disappeared.
Right. So you think about it. I mean, it's a really relatively short amount of time. Now you're right now, it started off as a summer job, and now Milton's been a part of our team helping to manage the systems that folks are seeing here today, right? Talk a little bit about what you do with Food on the Move now.
Yeah, mostly I help, usually the aquaponics, helping with William and Jeremiah Raymond.
Yep.
Basically, what we usually do is check mostly.
Okay, you got to.
We were basically, first we were harvesting most everything on the events. Some of y'all probably went to some of them. And we basically brought some things on summer. Most people actually like the watermelon and I forgot the name of that melon. Yeah, honeydew melons. But once time's gone, most people, as you can see, season changes and we had to mostly adapt. But most of the times it's actually pretty fun. And one thing I actually love about this is we're helping the environment and people. In the near future, I actually hope that we can do something to herbal to help with medicine also.
Well, so talk about that. And Milton, I keep trying to grab your microphone. It's annoying. Put it a little closer to your mic so everybody can hear your voice better than everybody else's. You said you wanted to ask me a question right before we walked out here, and then I have one more question for you. But what question did you have for me? So I have another question for you.
Yeah. What I was going to ask was, what was the main reason why you actually started this, and what sparked you to want to help everybody?
Well, first of all, I met somebody that inspired me. I met an ambassador, U.S. ambassador that was leading our country, representing our country in other places. And Ambassador Perkins, he said, food is the great equalizer. Everybody has a language, everybody has a way of cooking, preparing, speaking, right? And start with food. If you want to make your community stronger, start there. And honestly, I really genuinely believe that this idea of being a better community requires you and Kevin and Ramal and every single person in this room. And I'm really, really grateful that I could see somebody else as an example. So really, what you're doing right now is setting the tone for the future inspiration that I had at the start. So thank you. So thinking about the future, you've got an idea of where you want to go. What do you want to do with your life now that has this become a part of your dream for your future?
Yeah, mostly with Foot on the Move, I really love to see that I wasn't the only one who actually tried to do some of this. But for me, I was only one person. It was kind of hard to help a lot of people. Yeah, so I just usually helped what I could do.
You have this idea of using food as medicine, right? You were telling the team about that.
Yes, because, well, actually, plants hold a lot of nutrients and stuff we actually don't even know. So once we research them a little bit more, maybe we'll find more cures to many things. Like maybe a complete cure of chickenpox or something.
Yeah.
Maybe even the cure for cancer, but we can't say until it's done.
But let's start growing things. Give it up for Milton.
So, well, we're going to start wrapping things up, but we want to thank everybody for being here. We are in this capital campaign. It's a $7.5 million campaign. Because of these great funders that we've talked about earlier, we're at $5 million, which is exciting. So we got about $2.5 million left to raise. So, if you want to write a check, I'll take that. That's fine. Yeah. But seriously, help us move that needle. We're going to get there. We're going to break ground, and we're going to continue on as we serve together. We work collectively to just make a better Tulsa. And I want to thank everyone for coming and just being a part of this so far as we're doing this journey. A lot of great things happening, and we're so thankful for you to be here.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Stay around, check out the examples of our food home pods, see firsthand what we're doing. And for everybody that's watching, help us spread the word, help us bring food home. Thank you guys for being here today.
Yes. All right, so that wraps up our presentation to you guys today. We have the Monroe Middle School students that will actually give you a gift before you leave. We have a QR code on a pumpkin which could lead you to actually give, which could actually lead you to give towards our capital campaign.
It also talks about the actual food home. It's a website landing page, so you can learn more about it.
I'm sorry, that's more to it. Thank you, Kevin.
We're not trying to just get in your pocket. We want to educate you as well.
We should have practiced this before this whole thing. I see. Okay.
What fun is that?
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us here today. We appreciate you so much. And of course, please, again, check out our pods and, of course, meet all of our staff here today. So thank you again for joining us. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Taylor, wait. Hey guys, Taylor here. Well, you just saw the live event, the announcement, the reveal of this food home project. We are so excited to share this project with you, with the community, with the whole world. Right now, I'm actually inside of one of our aquaponics pods. This is where we're teaching, where we're training, where we're preparing for the large-scale project, which is going to be Food Homes Urban Farm. It's going to be incredible. I wanted to mention a couple things. The event is still going tonight because we're going to do a live chat with myself, our CEO and President Kevin Harper, and even members of our team. We may have some others join us. We're going to take your questions, get your input, talk about how you can be involved in the food home. And speaking of involvement, there are other ways that you can be involved, not just in giving, but having the chance to actually come and join me here. We're doing a special raffle starting today where you buy raffle tickets and you are entered to have the potential to win a trip to come to Tulsa, spend the day with myself and our team. You're gonna see this facility where we're growing things with incredible technologies like aquaponics and hydroponics. You're gonna be able to share the day, see our programs, meet our team, maybe even share a meal together. We'll be with a local chef. It's gonna be an awesome day, and somebody that jumps in and buys those raffle tickets is gonna be the winner. So just a fun way to say thank you to you for giving and get people involved in the potential to come and visit this firsthand and see this site. So stick around for the chat. Go check out the links for all of the info about the program, how you can give, how you can get involved. And thanks for letting us take your time, and thanks for helping us to bring food home.
Okay, you're live.
Hey everybody. Well, such an awesome day. I'm Taylor Hanson, and
Yes, I'm Ramal Brown.
And I'm Kevin Harper.
And if you guys have just tuned in because you just wanted to do the live chat, we are excited to have you. We've got a lot of questions coming through. This is a major day for Food on the Move. Thank you guys for watching the live event. This was such a great gathering. The thing that's cool about today is not only are we getting to finally share this big food home project and take your questions, but we really get to celebrate. There's been so many partners that have helped us get to this point. And now you guys, wherever you are, you can be a part of helping us make this project happen. It's not just about money. It's about, of course, anything you can give is fantastic, but we want you to spread the word. We want you to share the story. And so today we're going to take some questions, and you've got some questions teed up. So
so people are sitting them in, and I've got them. I'll just pose them to you guys, and we'll knock this out. But I'm going to start. I think this is a really good question to start with, and we're asked, how long has this project been in the works? And Taylor, this is a perfect question for you to answer because a long time is the answer.
Yeah.
But,
well, so anybody that's followed Food on the Move is going to have inklings of this story. But, Food on the Move started with the question, right? We didn't know the answer. We began asking the question, well, what if you have a food desert, doesn't have grocery stores, what is the root of the problem? And how could you possibly solve that? Like, this is not something you just flip a switch. And so we began having events, we now call them food and resource festivals. They're like little mini festivals where we would meet the community. We'd bring food to people. We started working with farmers. We started working with food trucks. And every time we've done an event, we would learn something. And about 2 years into the process of 2016, the sort of aha sort of came to me because we were already looking at all these different elements. We were working with our friend Katie Pluhocky with RNG Mobile Grocery Store, and she's passionate about getting a grocery store. We were talking to our farmers about how to get more produce, and we realized that all these farmers we were working with, they were growing things, but their food only went to a little farmer's market. It never made its way to a grocery store. And so a lot of times you lose food. Like, it would be rotting on the vine. And we found out because we would be going to help get food and help a farmer out, and in exchange they let us take some of their extra produce that would never reach anybody. And so all the way back to 2016, guys, is where the project began. And the epiphany was, one, when you're talking about food deserts, you're talking about food insecurity, you're talking about talking about low income, right? You're talking about an area that's lost lots of things. And grocery stores are really hard business to run. They have a small margin. Like, you don't have that much money. You've got all these products. And so stuff like fresh produce is really, really hard to keep up because you pay a ton to just ship it. And so the kind of epiphany with Food Home was, we need not just a store, not just a farm, not just a food hub to get farmers connected. We need them all close to each other.
Right.
And so that's the answer is, since 2016, that's where it began. And, we go on and on, but, Kevin was volunteering with another nonprofit, and he was just one of those awesome leaders that was saying, hey, how can I help you? Because I shared this idea. And so all the way back to when we first met, it was the conversation, okay, well, here's what I think we need. And what's really cool about Food Home is what I think we need. It was what I know we need, because this farmer and this farmer and this partner and this partner, they're all saying these things. It's just a question of putting it together.
I think probably the most amazing thing goes back to all of our community food and resources events, because
that's the foundation.
That's the foundation. And my favorite volunteer position we have with those events, we call them the ambassadors. They're the people that are carrying those. I call them the mom soccer carts. They pull out.
The carts.
But they're walking around with people, helping them get their produce and supplies. But they're talking. And really, the cornerstone of figuring this out is just talking to the community where they live and meet them where they are. Say, what needs to happen? Because our job isn't to transform a community. That's their community. Our job is to say we can provide access.
Partner.
And listening to what our community members were saying was so vital, because we began to framework that. And I think, Taylor, with what you learned from that, you began to put that vision together. So you had your farmers, you had your partners, but then the most important ingredient were the people that were being served, our guests.
It's still
their input is what really shaped this project.
Oh, completely.
And I believe that the Food and Resource Festival, as we're talking about the heartbeat and the foundation of it, has been foundational in us being able to develop this whole program. Being a DJ and being able to serve in that capacity, we were able to go in 3 parts of the community with TCC, also with the Chamberlain Park, and also with the Greenwood Culture Center. You have the different needs in the certain areas. And so we got to really understand the demographics of what community really needed in those times. And so we serve those that are disabled and those that are elderly, and some that are young with families. And so it's just many demographics that we have within the North Tulsa area, in which we were able to serve, which helped us to really expand our thinking and how we were able to serve the community.
You remember being, I know you do, but we were talking about, we talked about this several times trying to tell the story, but like the first times that you went out to harvest and we were looking at fields. And the farmer that was with us, which is one of many, was like, this food's never going to find anybody because he's just one guy. He's just loading it up, trying to put it in a truck and get to a farmer's market. And I remember it was the crack of dawn.
And 4 or 5 a.m.
and we're not farmers.
We fell asleep.
At all.
And it was like standing there holding food in our hands while we're trying to feed people and realizing
Do you remember what that was like?
Yeah,
that light bulb?
100%. The distribution, it could get. All we needed to do was get it from that farm into somebody's table, and I mean, once we were able to do that and connect the dots, it just the light bulb went off, and we were able to really serve at a better capacity.
Okay, well, that's the first question. We might need to go on some more.
Sorry, we don't need any more questions.
And we've got some good ones. I want to jump off something you brought up, the community food and resource festivals. And I think it's a good question. So someone said, hey, now that Food on the Move has a permanent home, which was never the original intent, but has a home.
It will be
the
home,
question is, will the mobile event still exist? And the answer is 110%. Our desire, and you guys can chime in, but we want to put hunger out of a job. We want it to, but we know there are several communities, and why we're mobile, and we will always be mobile, is so that we can go into those communities and help build that back up, and then go to the next community. And that we will always have our events. And what's great about the Food Home is we can begin to help grow food organically to serve the community at our events and other items like that.
And I think the biggest thing for us is to put it in your community. So in the chat right now, if you want it in your community, put a hand up so we can see which community that we need to come to for sure. But
you just want to travel for work.
For sure. That's one of the greatest things I want to do of all. But one thing is to understand your community, the demographics of where you are, and the challenges that you face in your community, and how we're able to serve your neighborhood. So yes, 100%.
And that goes on to the next question, because you opened that door. People are asking, are we planning to go to other states?
Let me jump in there and say, so what we're doing is definitely about understanding what it is that it takes to transform a food desert. And so because of that, that means that naturally this is not just a Tulsa conversation.
100%.
Now, Tulsa is our community, and North Tulsa has been our focus. It's an area that historically has lots of legacy issues. So it's sort of like, if we can make an impact in North Tulsa, if we can do this there, that means this really can work in almost any community, especially across the U.S. Whether it's poor leadership, whether it's poor economic development plans, whether it's all the different issues that so many cities have. We know this is relevant potentially in other places. So I think in theory, yes, we see ourselves bringing this to other communities, but we're definitely still focused on, we want to get into this phase with Food Home because that's really the destination from a volunteer event back in 2014 all the way forward, thousands and thousands of hours, hundreds of thousands of millions of pounds of food. And here we are with Food Home. We want to be able to show that from zero to the Food Home, that we really were able to transform a food desert community. And at that point, we're able to say, you know what? This could be a solution in St. Louis, in Houston, in Charlotte, and so many places that are dealing with the same challenges.
And I really believe we do have a good thing going on right here. And the way we started till now, and we have a good model that we're happy to help people launch as we're getting this through. And we have 4 other states right now saying, hey, could you put a food home here? And the reality is, once we get this one built and we prove it works, we're ready to say, hey, let's expand that. And so I guess the timing would be, hey, we got to get this first phase going, get that funded. Because once we show that works, we can begin to talk with other areas and help people share that model, because we want that model to be replicated and we want to keep that same sense of dignity that we give our guests. And so we absolutely want to make sure that we have something that's great that's happening and continue to expand that on.
Like epic long answers, I can't help myself. I want to emphasize this because it's something that's really important to me. This is not an overnight anything. None of these things are. And so if you're out there, and even right now, like, I think this project is gonna come to life, and we've seen huge impact. But you got to be stubborn. If you're out there going, man, I want to support, man, guys, this. Having that stubbornness, having that we're going to show up every day, we're going to do the work.
That's right.
That's what this. We've seen that in action, and so part of that is that we're challenging the status quo, and so definitely wherever you are, you're going to help us by whether supporting it or spreading the word, helping to say, you know what, this is what's going to make the difference, and here's my ideas, or here's. Every day that we put something into action that's a new idea, we're able to say, actually, you know what, that did challenge what we thought was possible, and we went past what we thought was possible. So that's required if we want to bring it to other places.
And what's great is it's not just a Tulsa thing, an Oklahoma thing, a United States thing. It can be a global situation. And no matter where you are watching right now, if you're like, hey, what can I, can other states or countries help? Absolutely. Yeah. And really help get that first phase done and help us launch other ones. We would love to have that happen. And
more questions?
Yeah, more questions. We've got a lot of great ones. Taylor, I'm going to let you say this one, then we have some other fun ones. But this says, we're going to go to the next phase. But what would make phase 1 a success where it's done and you go, damn, that worked? What would happen in phase 1 for us to say, well, damn, that worked. Let's go to the next one.
Well, I mean, the first phase of Food Home, is the urban farm, right? And we do need your help to get that finished, funded right now. But as far as it getting done, I think it's seeing people like Milton, who were with us, reach the point where, in a very short time, he'll be there. Like a lot of our folks that have gone through the training, where he genuinely can say, I could make a living. I could start a business. I could be self-sustained from a student in middle school to somebody that could start a business, or could be. I mean, we're already seeing we've pulled him in as a part of the team. That's a damn we did it. And the other part is this farm is going to be self-sustaining, which means we're a nonprofit, right? We're designed to reinvest to try and go towards our mission, but part of the way that's going to happen is this is going to pay for itself by generating revenue, working with distributors, and getting produce to families and to partners like like grocery stores. That's another huge, like that is a damn we did it. And we also know that there are a lot of small farmers that are legacy farmers, own property, are thinking about, man, I don't know if I want to keep my granddad's farm anymore. I can't pay my bills. I think there's the cross section between people picking up and learning some of these new practices too. That's going to be a huge opportunity. And if anybody's a grower out there, any farmers, you're going to be so critical to the success of this whole thing, because we want the conversation about people that really have a passion for growing things.
Yeah. I think the other thing is introducing the world to hydroponics and aquaponics. And we're getting a lot of questions. I definitely want to answer this. The difference between hydroponics and aquaponics, because it's a newer form of farming. It's a sustainable form of farming. But the big difference, and really when you ask the two, people kind of go one or the other, and I really prefer aquaponics. They have the same basic design. It's a lot of water, there's nutrients and things like that. But what happens with the aquaponics is it's really ran by fish. And so we use tilapia because it's an easy fish to do, and we can actually sell those tilapia and have a big fish fry or something like that. Farm, it's a good protein source. And how the aquaponics works is really neat. You feed the fish, that fish waste will go into a filter. That filter then goes into these grow beds, and they hit this gravel-like clay, and that bacteria grows, feeds that plant what they need. So the plant absorbs all that, then they excrete waste that goes back into a sump tank and goes right back to the fish. So it's its own ecosystem. So it's continually going. It's almost like a pond. When you look at a pond, you see moss growing on it. Same kind of concept. But yet we're growing organic food. Everything we grow is organic, because if we put anything on there, it kills the fish and we've lost our ecosystem. So that's the aquaponics part in a nutshell. Hydroponics works similar, but you're actually putting in the nutrients. And so you're having to add that and monitor a little bit more. But it's really exciting how they both work, and they're very efficient. They use 90% less water than row crops. So great for the environment. 90% less water. Wow. And it grows 30% faster. Because it doesn't have to fight for light or nutrients, and everything is organic. So you've got a really amazing product, and we can grow anything from tomatoes, cucumbers, carrots, any kind of leafy greens, so many things that we can grow in these systems that allow us to just really bring that food home.
Another thing too that's really cool about these practices is the ability to grow year round, the ability to continually work in places like Oklahoma, places further north. There's a lot of weather, there's a lot of temperature, there's a lot of different humidity challenges. And so these are the practices that are more efficient, more effective, and can work. And it's part of why when we're talking about this being a model, we go, guys, look, if we want to bring food closer to Kevin so that there's less cost between traveling to move that food, then these concepts can be effective in places all over the country, all over the world technically, because they're all based on creating a controlled environment. And by the way, that doesn't mean that we're not really passionate about the natural way of growing things in dirt. That's a beautiful thing, but if we want to see food get better and be more effective and more available, we need to look at these new practices that change that make it more effective to get fresh produce to everybody.
Absolutely. And I think one really exciting thing that we haven't talked a lot about with the even phase one is the focus on health.
Oh,
because
huge.
food is really medicine. And what's going to be great is not only people have access to it, but there'll be health assessments done there at the food home where people can see, hey, this is where my health is. And they'll get a printout and say, hey, these are the kind of foods you eat. So if you have high blood pressure, you can eat this. You have diabetes. And people will be able to have, and we have a sheet now that we give out at our events. The front of that sheet is all about, here's the physical aspects, you eat this, and then the mental aspects. And there are certain foods you can eat that help with mental capacity and things like that. And so we'll be able to get those in the hands of those who need it just immediately right there. And I'm very excited about that aspect of the food home that we don't really talk about a lot, but is probably the most essential piece. Because when you've lived if you lived without that for so long and your health is in such a bad place, you begin to eat healthy, it changes a lot. It does. So it's really exciting for that.
More questions?
Yeah. So this is an interesting one. Ramal, what was it like for you going from volunteer to a full-time employee, and what's changed for you in that?
And it is such an amazing journey to go out into the farm with no expectations of being hired, but just expectations to see people be fed. It's an amazing journey. I have to say that, and being able to volunteer and work with such great people that are have the same intentions as I do, and as many other volunteers do as well. But it's been a fun journey to really get to know Kevin, to get to know Taylor, Rusty, Ryan, and our whole team, and to take the lead, to follow the lead of where Kevin is leading us into the schools and to be able to serve the community, going door to door to visit with families, just having the time to really focus on the things where we know we can really make a difference. From being a volunteer, limited on time, but having the great opportunity to serve community, but now moving over to full time, it's been a great journey because now I have time to think and focus and strategize on how we can collectively serve our community. And working for Food on the Move full time has just been a joy to my life and to my family, and just to the community as well, to be able to learn about fresh produce and how to grow with hydroponics and aquaponic systems, and also just the general understanding of how to farm. And so just being around very intelligent people is just always a plus, you know.
Wait, who have you been doing?
Okay, so the next question I think I probably can answer. Oh, no. I'm not the smart one. We just hire smart people. So I think the next one I probably should be answering because I can answer it best. Sure. It's like, the question is, what's it like to work with Taylor and help execute his vision? So that's a fun one.
For sure.
First off, it's hard to believe I've been here for 3 years as full time.
Really insane.
But it's really inspiring. I've got to work with a lot of people over my lifetime, and a lot of amazing people that want to do things. But Taylor's heart and vision really go hand in hand, and he's gonna hate me saying this, but that's okay. But I really admire the fact that it's not just a project. This is a passion of his that is deep rooted inside of who he is. And that's, my first event that I ever went to volunteer at, had my kids with me, and I pull up, and Taylor's pulling the tents out of his own truck and setting them up. And that's like, I can follow someone like that. And as I begin to see his heart and what it was all about, it's easy to follow a leader that has a true heart to make a difference. It was never about Taylor Hanson or who I am. It was all about impacting the community where he lived. And that's why it's really easy to follow that vision, because it's a simple vision. It's very, hey, this works. Yeah. It's all about people. And I think that's the core of who Food on the Move is. It's people matter, and the dignity of people matter. And so honestly, it's not hard. The days can be long, but because we have a big project and because there's a big need. And it's kind of convenient because we have the same sleep schedule. Neither one sleep much. So we can text at 1 in the morning and we're both awake, and it's okay. It's kind of funny. Yes. But it's been very exciting to see this unfold as we've been moving forward.
I didn't blush as much as I was thinking I'd have to. Good job.
Well, I didn't put everything I could.
You were very nice. You were very nice. I'll just add to that. I've been able to spend most of my life. One of the great gifts that I've had, and I can say huge credit to family, being just having a strong family. Like all of us, we can speak to strong families being a big, big deal. But also, I've really seen this. I've seen what's possible, right? In a lot of ways, kind of unlikely things. Yeah. And I think that's a gift and a challenge, because when I look at Kevin, I see and Ramon, I look at all of our team members, like all these different talents, like all these different giftings. Yeah. And it's so exciting to imagine what's possible when people are living up to their own potential, you know, and that's enough. I mean, that is the thing. It's overwhelming to think how much we can do, and so I just go back to, you know, I'm grateful that you and all of our team members have come along on these journeys, because you're taking a chance whenever you step into something new. Like, so that's why it's so important for us to share with those of you that aren't here and don't see every step of the way with our project, to just like roll up your sleeve, dive in, look at the video, ask the questions, because this is a deep conversation. Yeah. This is not a surface deal. Like, this goes way, way, way down, and there's a whole lot to understand.
Absolutely. And we would love to visit and share the model of what we're doing. We have one more question I want to ask to wrap it up, and then I have one more thing I'm going to have you do, Taylor. And I'm going to have you answer this question. We can kind of chime in if we want to. But the big question that's kind of coming up is, you know, how can we help with Food Home, whether we're in another state or in another country? How can we help make an impact? So I'll let you tee that up.
Well, there's a couple ways. One, I mean, the foundation of Food on the Move is the volunteerism, and that means doing whatever it is you can. So whatever that is, if that just means sharing this video that you've found out, or sharing the campaign with somebody else, knocking on doors, you know, choosing to, if you want to come, you're welcome. Come to Tulsa. If you're in the community, if you're in Oklahoma, come volunteer. Wherever you are, whatever it is you have, use that. Don't wait for somebody else or think you can't do something because you don't have a bunch of resources. The other thing is, there is a tangible financial capital campaign now. You know, everybody kind of teases me that I don't really like talking about fundraising, because I know that the human capacity is the number one thing. But we do have a huge project. We've raised a great deal of funds, and we are now in the public phase. And in fundraising, you know, there's a point where it's important, especially for this, for us to invite everyone to be a part of fundraising for this. So it's not just, hey, here's Food Home, boom. You know, we want you to be a part of this. And so we have about $2.5 million left to raise. And right now we are doing a special campaign just for the next few days. We're doing this raffle, just kind of a fun way to make giving not just, you know, give to Food Home to build it, but maybe something else extra. And with this raffle, if you buy these tickets, there's $50 raffle tickets, you're entered into a contest to be brought to Tulsa and visit with us. Have an amazing day, see the Food Home site, see the home base where we have our office right now on the site, see the aquaponic systems, see the programs we're doing, meet our students that we work with, and also share a meal together where we eat fresh produce and we have a great meal and share the combination of passion for food and love of community. So that's actually something really specific. And, you know, obviously I have folks that have followed what I've done outside of Food on the Move. And there's a lot of you out there that have followed the Taylor Hanson journey through those things. So if you're out there and you're just thinking, what can I do? I mean, if $5 was given by just the people following Taylor myself on Instagram, that would be an insane number. So if you can give 2, 5, 10, 50, I mean, that will compound. So give whatever you can. Help us blow people away. Because when we're excited about something, sometimes we forget there are naysayers. There are people happy to see the status quo. There are people that are not looking to innovate. But this project is going to change lives. We already have seen it. So spread the word, give whatever you can. Don't wait for the perfect solution. Don't wait for being the big shot with a bunch of money. But if you have $5, $10, $50, give what you can, because this project is going to blow minds.
And those links are on our Facebook page. They're on our Instagram, the Twitter. And what's really exciting is that there's several things that people can even win with this raffle.
Oh yeah,
like 20 people are going to win, you know, a Food on the Move bag with merch in it that we're designing,
and a note from us,
you know. And then also we've got some Zoom meetings that people get to climb in on. And then the big one is, you know, we'll fly you and a guest here to Tulsa. You get to spend the night. We have a great local chef that's going to cook. You've got a lot of fun things, and just spending the day going behind the scenes,
seeing this project.
I think, especially people that want to say, "How can I get this to my city?" Yes. If you can win that, you can really get some really good tangible items of how that really works, and it's fun. And I would love to have some of our guests to come and see this, because it's a lot of fun.
You are going to get overwhelmed with the water hose from this team.
Oh. Like, okay, you will be tired. You will be ready to take a nap after we start talking.
I will say, just kind of as we're wrapping up the chat, we're going to we haven't announced the details, but look out for posting. We're going to be doing a small live post for the next 5 days of some kind, which is going to allow you guys to tune in to see some aspects of what we do. So between now and through Saturday, we're going to be inviting you into a classroom to see us work with Monroe students. We're going to show you some of our community gardens. I'm even going to do a little bit of cooking right here in our Food on the Move kitchen. So keep your lookout for that, and stay on the story of what we're doing with Food on the Move and Food Home. This is an exciting project that we're passionate about, but I really think truly the Food Home and what it's built on, which is all these millions of different conversations we've had and all these great people, is something that could truly change our community, and you guys can be a part of that. So let's do it.
Yeah, we're excited, and really, all things go well, and we get this funded. This will be up and going this time next year. That's how quickly we can get this going. So we're real excited, and I think we were talking about, if we hit $1 million, we're going to have $1 million released to us, and so that's another good incentive. So their money's doubled, basically.
If anybody's ever done fundraising, we have an amazing nonprofit, an amazing foundation that has put up a challenge grant, which is basically they're pushing us to raise the funds that they're ready to give, and so that means if you help us get to $1 million, that will be matched by another $1 million. That's huge, I feel a little bit right now like we're in an infomercial, so you can get an entire Food Home complete system when you donate.
And if you act now in 30 seconds, we'll throw another one in for free.
Ramon will come to your house.
He likes to travel. He'll do a DJ event for you and your friends.
Front yard.
We're kidding, actually.
No.
I just want to promise that.
But I don't have that many days off.
But seriously, this has been fun. I appreciate everyone really just chiming in and watching, and I hope you share this with other people. You guys want to give some closing thoughts as we wrap this up? And
we'll make the rounds. Ramon,
so thank you for being a partner and a friend of Food on the Move, first of all, and just for following us, supporting us, always in the chats and always commenting and sharing and liking everything that we do. But make sure just in your community, make the impact where you can. Start the trend, start the transition of helping people with food, and I believe that will attract the work that we do here into your community. So we would love to help and love to come and work with you.
And thank you so much for everything you guys do. When you follow us, when you just give that encouragement, we love seeing your names pop up when we're doing our Facebook Lives, or the comments have been so amazing. And to learn more about what we're doing, Ramal says just start doing something. Check out our podcast, Movers and Shakers. We'd love for you to look at that, because that's all about inspiring you wherever you are. Start doing something different.
In fact, the next episode that you'll hear from us, I believe it's the next episode, right, Paula, is featuring Paula Marshall, who spoke at our event. He's an incredible supporter, a great leader in Tulsa. And the episode, really, we get to talk a little bit about Food Home, how we got connected with her passion for people. And so, check out the podcast. Lots to do. It's going to be an amazing week. Wherever you are, we hope you guys are feeling great, doing well, and we will see you very soon.
See ya.